Welcome to Ontopicretro, episode 32. I'm John Cummins, and joining me tonight is Sam Wagers and Philip Paulson. And tonight we are talking Donkey Kong Country 2. Finally, this was the last Retro Rewind game for, I believe it was April or May, April or May, one or the other, and then I ended up extending it another month due to lack of participation in the playing the game or the contest.
It was, I know it was May because May is the month Tears of the Kingdom came out.
This is, yes, and this is what started the whole
and everything else went on hold.
Yes.
Fun fact, I actually haven't played Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh man, get out of here.
But you are talking about it.
It's the game that made the world stop for quite a while.
Made our world stop.
At least around the retrologic Discord, like everybody was like, you need to stay out of there because you're going to learn things you don't need to know. But
yeah, don't get sucked into the depths.
That's right.
At least not too early.
Well, so I heard someone saying getting sucked into the depths. I should do that. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
You should try to take your horse down there.
All right.
But anyway, how are you fellas doing tonight? Either one? No one jump in real quick.
I'm doing great.
I'm doing okay. I just got back to the unnamed university that I go to, and the classes started yesterday, so it's just the beginning of the semester.
I mean, you also quite literally just got back. Like you were walking outside right before the show.
I was walking back. I was walking back from a club. They're going to do some basically they're going to do 10 D&D games in the same world.
Oh, nice.
There'll be 10 groups doing different things, but in the same map.
And is there
they won't be
story elements that can tie them together at any time?
Like they
sometimes
can influence
they do
each other's
campaigns.
games.
Yeah, that stuff's cool.
That's cool.
I believe they talk to each other so that if something big happens in one game, it would naturally affect the others, then it would.
Nice.
I believe that's how it works. It's very exciting.
All right. For as much as I'm interested in this D&D conversation, I do have a little bit of housekeeping that I need to get done before we move into talking about tonight's game. First on the housekeeping list is that Retro Rewind is back. I did put out games to vote on. The vote has concluded, and the winner of the voting is Metroid Fusion. So we will be playing Metroid Fusion from actually starting now, basically whenever you hear this episode, up until the 18th of September. And the Retro Rewind Champions contest is also back for this game, and it will be a time attack. Whoever can submit the fastest completion time will win $10 of their choosing from any eShop or just game shop of their choosing. And then we will record the episode for that game on the 19th, so the following day. So everybody, Retro Rewind is back. Go play Metroid Fusion and submit your times. You have a chance to win $10 that can go towards something that you've been wanting to play.
It will be my first Metroid game as well.
And we're getting lots of firsts out of you.
I'm very not. I don't have. I have my favorites, which I have played a lot of games. I've played a lot of Kirby games. I've played a lot of Pikmin games. Outside of that, I've played a few interesting games, but it's very scattershot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited though.
Yeah, it was a good voting. There was definitely some good games on there. I would have been happy to replay any of them that were in the running. I was kind of interested in if Kururin won because
that had my vote.
That was the game that I hadn't played out of the lot, but I definitely won't be be upset about a chance to replay Metroid Fusion for sure.
Well, it's definitely a great one for the time attack. So I really want to see that in the rotation for it too, because that's pretty much the game.
Yes,
is about clear times.
Yeah, this game is designed to be just destroyed. Like I've seen people at times getting close to the hour mark, pretty regularly. So definitely hope to see some good submissions come through this time.
I'm not sure, since classes are starting, I'm not sure if we'll have time to go after the time attack or if I'm just going to try and beat the game, but we're going to see.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we'll see how it goes.
I mean, how can you not have time? You hear him? It takes less than an hour.
Yeah, once you get good, it'll take you less time.
It takes time to get to less than an hour, though. It takes more than an hour to get to less than an hour.
We'll see. I do know there's some what I would call veteran players in the Discord that play Metroid Fusion pretty often. So
I don't think I'm winning this one.
Maybe we'll see some pretty quick times. I'm interested. Mine definitely will not be super quick. I'm more of a take my time with Metroid games. I like exploring, and there's very few times where I go back and play them again right after I get done. So I don't usually get good enough to get fast times. So, but anyway, Metroid Fusion, go play it. Submit your stuff. If you're not a part of Discord, go join Discord so you can submit. I will take submissions through email, but I will be honest, I don't get a whole lot of emails through that box, and I try to check it, more often than I probably actually do, but it is an option. I will definitely accept submissions through email. Anyway, now that housekeeping's done, we can actually talk about this game. Donkey Kong Country 2, which is it's a pretty amazing game for its time. It's definitely whenever I think about platformers, like just Donkey Kong Country as a series, it's kind of what sticks out to me, especially in the Super Nintendo area. Mario is always like the kind of like pixel perfect platformer, and Donkey Kong's a little more lenient. And not saying that it's doesn't have its difficulties, but you're definitely not going to see the stuff you do in the end game for Mario games. Like they're definitely beatable, and that's something when I was a kid that I really enjoyed. Like playing through the first Donkey Kong, I actually, sat down, beat the game. Didn't take me 2 or 3 months like other games did whenever I was a kid, and it got to the point where I could sit down and beat Donkey Kong Country in an afternoon as a kid, and it was fun.
Oh.
So
that's interesting. That's interesting because I think this game has a reputation of being kind of tricky.
Yeah, I've always seen Donkey Kong Country as a little bit more challenging than Mario on the whole, especially in the modern iterations. I mean, yeah, like
it
Mario will have really hard like bonus levels, like after Bowser kind of stuff. But I think the whole actually this was a game I couldn't beat when I can remember being stuck in Crimland for a long time, for several years. I was never able to progress through that stretch of levels to the next save point.
I would say, for interesting comparison, this would have worked better if we had done it right after, but for a different podcast at the same time, like for a different podcast at the same time I was playing Donkey Kong Country 2, or maybe right after, I was also playing Mario World for a different podcast. So, and I think, Summer World Special in Mario World is tricky, and maybe trickier. There weren't, or maybe even frustrating, but there were also definitely very precise moments in Donkey Kong Country 2 that I can remember. And it might be harder on it might actually put more of its hard stuff in the actual path of beating the game than just completing the game.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I think World Special in Mario World is probably tougher than Crimatoa. Is that in this one? No, that's the one in Donkey Kong Country 3.
I think it's the Lost World in this one.
The Lost World, yeah, is in this one because really the Lost World feels about the same amount of challenge as like the last couple levels,
except for animal antics.
Gotta
put an exception in.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm going to talk specifically about animal antics sometime on this podcast.
So, to kind of clarify, yes, this game is more difficult, but just the series as a whole, like with including the first game, I feel like the first game was the game that I mastered. And I know that we're not talking about the first game on this episode. We've already done that, but this game definitely cranks that difficulty up compared to the first game. But the first game is what I was referencing when I first started it, and the way that I kind of view these games is that the first game feels more like a tech demo, like what they were trying to, use to figure everything out, how they wanted to make a game with the assets that they wanted to create it with and figure out the gameplay mechanics. And then the second game is where they pretty much already know how they're going to make the game. All those things are in place. This is where they just get to have fun. They get to create levels that are way different than the first game. There's just so many more things going on, and it's more creative. And they really crank that.
There's a lot more variety because in the first Donkey Kong Country, you pretty much have like three main types of levels. There's like your standard platformer level, there's the minecart levels, and there's barrel levels.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, you're climbing, there's water levels, there's levels that have ropes. But like it's all kind of par for the course stuff. Yeah. Whereas Donkey Kong Country 2 is always throwing new stuff at you. Even in the first world, like you have those levels with the oh no, maybe that's the second world. The one where it changes to lava and you have to get the seal.
That's the second world.
Yeah, that's the second world.
I should clarify it.
The first time that you can't get in the water because it's turned to lava and you don't realize that the seal's there to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I had definitely heard of the seals before I played this game. I don't know why.
But I'm curious to know how that works. Manual. Like, how does a seal spitting in the water automatically just turn the water good again? Like,
actually, the seal is in the manual. He has like a description. If I can find it, give me a second. I have to scroll.
He's lowering the pH level of the water.
Clapper the seals. Most seals can't change boiling hot water to room temperature or turn water to ice, but Clapper can. Jump on him, and he'll perform this valuable service for you. So it doesn't tell you why.
Yeah,
but it does note that only Clapper can do it.
The one where he turns it to ice? That's much later in the game.
Yeah,
that's like the final.
Yeah, this is the first.
I feel like he shows up in the first world.
No, it's the second world. I think it's the second level in the second world.
A little fuzzy.
Yeah, second world.
Pretty early.
He turns it to lava. He turns it to water.
Yeah.
And then in the last world, he turns it to ice.
Yeah. And I also love it that you're like, this kind of is a callback to like in Mario World where you're like punching Yoshi to get him to open his mouth. Like you have to jump on the seal and like he kind of like gags and like spits in the water and it's a really strange animation for that.
Don't worry, it's not animal abuse because they're all animals.
And like whenever you jump on him, it acts like you get hurt. Like it knockbacks and like throws you into the water.
Yeah.
So like the whole
you gotta
thing
be careful sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of like the timing of it is like has to be perfect because there's times where you hit the water and the water's still red, but as soon as you get into it, it starts like turning back to blue. So I wonder if there's like a way to miss that opportunity and like die from hitting the water too quickly or something.
I'm sure that's possible, and also that it's a speedrunning trick somehow.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I was going to say on variety points, I'm used to modern platforms, so like I'm used to stuff like Celeste, where like there's a lot of different mechanics in Celeste, but it's all very like integrated. It all feels very kind of like natural. And then, like, in this game, I just go into a level and it's like, you're racing people. And I was like, wait, I'm racing people? Yes. And then I had to, like, I couldn't figure out what it was like. I had to, like, see, oh, that flag, that's how many people, that's the people that are ahead of me. And, like, like that can just happen. And that's something I noticed in this and in Mario World, where, like, there's stuff that kind of just happens more spontaneously in these older platformers.
So it makes it fun.
It doesn't feel like, yeah, it feels like stuff can just, like, jump out of you. It kind of makes this sense that, like, any level can be anything, and that's something that I think is a lot more that's burned out a little bit in favor for more of a fluid thing. And you can argue which is like there's still a magic to having this variety approach though of the older games, and I think is interesting.
Even in like I can't remember which world it's in now, but where it has to be in the second world because that's like kind of the hot area. But there's the hot air balloons that are in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like my recent playthrough, I forgot that you have to kind of like be established on the balloon before you can move it. So like I kept like trying to jump on it and move it as I was going, and I would just run off the balloon. And I was like, I don't remember this being this hard. And then I finally like I stopped on one, and it like kind of like clicks you into place, and then you can move the balloons. But I had to like sit and think about it for a minute because it doesn't. It's not as intuitive, you know. Like you would think you could just get on there and start controlling it, but you have to kind of like wait a second on each balloon to get it to pick up that you're wanting to move the balloon and not the characters.
Right.
There's definitely a variety in the game itself because like in the first game there's maybe like 10 enemies I think that are recycled like throughout all of the worlds. You have like bees, beavers, and then a few varieties of Kremlin, and that's like pretty much the whole game's enemies. And then the second game is like, we're going to double it. We're going to basically put about the same amount of enemies that were in the whole first game, just in the first world, as far as diversity goes. Like every time you go to a new level, there's like 3 new enemies that you encounter.
I think there's 30 enemies in total, and I think that's one of the trivia questions.
Oh, nice.
How many enemies are in this game? I think it's 30.
Nice.
If I remember right. It's a nice multiple of 10, I think.
It's definitely, like I said, it makes the first game look like a tech demo. Like this game just has more of everything in it, and it operates better. The platforming feels more tight. In the first game, there was plenty of instances where like it feels sluggish or it feels slippery in some instances whenever it's not supposed to be. But this game like sticks pretty well. I didn't have any troubles doing exactly what I wanted to. And it definitely requires you to do a lot more than the first game did. Playing some of those levels with the crocodiles, and you have to like activate them as you're jumping through there, and they're timed. Like there's definitely some like difficulty in some of those.
I have to ask. I didn't play Donkey Kong Country 1. Do you think any of that has to do with the fact that you're playing as Diddy and Dixie and you don't have Donkey Kong, which I would imagine would be a slower style?
Yeah, no, they definitely change. That's definitely something they wanted to do whenever they went into the sequel. I think that was the whole idea is that Donkey and Diddy were pretty similar in gameplay wise. So I think it's definitely something they had to do for a sequel is kind of up the ante and create a character that moved a little bit differently this time. There's really no difference to Donkey and Diddy in the first game. Diddy might jump a little more freely.
The main difference, Diddy swims better, and Donkey can knock out enemies like clumps.
Yes,
better because he's the heavyweight.
Yeah, but like as far as how they play is very similar compared to like Diddy can't use his ponytail to float because he doesn't have one. They both handle pretty different.
Yeah, but it is interesting that by the third game they would introduce Kiddy Kong
and
as essentially a way of having. Yeah, he basically is Donkey Kong from the first game with some of Diddy's traits, just to basically to maximize how different he is from Dixie.
Yeah, they definitely make some interesting decisions on who they want to be in each game. I mean, it's also a pretty bold move to have a Donkey Kong game where you don't play as Donkey Kong.
That's true. And even though it is Diddy's conquest, Not Diddy Kong's Quest, but it is Diddy Kong's Quest. But the title is Diddy's Kong Quest. Dixie really is the star here. I think, like most people, I kind of default to her.
Yep.
Because in any platformer, the ability to hover or float or glide is premium. It's the same reason Peach is the best character in Mario Bros. 2.
So I think we can kind of just blend this together and just talk a little bit. I know that about experience-wise, sorry I didn't finish that, but I know that Philip, this is your first time playing, so you're new to the game.
But I will say, I should add,
go for it.
I am new to the game. This is my first time playing, but as the winner of the Retro Mind contest,
you are the champion.
I was the only entrant, but I way overachieved. I got all 40 video game hero coins, making me an official video game hero. So much so I renamed myself in the Discord obnoxiously to official video game hero.
There you go.
So I do know I am an expert on this game, but only this one.
You are
none of the surrounding Donkey Kong.
You are the Retro Rewind champion for Donkey Kong Country 2. This is true. But I think as Sam and I have kind of alluded that we've played this game, from our childhood and have replayed it since then, and that's where our experiences are coming from. And I think we've kind of hashed that out, so we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this episode since we very quickly have wanted to talk about it. So. So, for the game overview, this game was released on the Super Nintendo in Japan on 21st of November in 1995, and North America would get it on the 4th of December in 95, and then Europe would get it just 10 days later on the 14th, which is, real quickly, I just want to add how quick of a turnaround off of the first game this is. This is like a year and a couple weeks. And they've popped out a new game, which is like pretty unheard of. That's real quick for a sequel. Even in this time period, with the platforming game in mind that isn't really changing a whole lot asset wise. It's for as good of a game it is. It was pumped out there. I mean, I remember barely getting, because I got Donkey Kong Country pretty late on its release. And I remember getting it beat and playing it a couple times, and then they're like, "Oh, the sequel's coming out next month." It's like, "Oh, okay, we're already there," which is pretty nice. But man, that's quick. I can't imagine a year development for a game, especially today. Like that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it just reminded me of this because you put the European release on here, which is just 10 days later. This is one of the games. Probably because Rare, being a UK-based developer, was a lot more aware of this issue. That this is a game that the European version properly runs at 50 hertz.
Yeah.
Instead of just being underclocked like so many others.
Yeah, it was developed with that in mind instead of just being clocked down after development. And this game also released on the Game Boy Advance, which, as we'll get to talking later, I haven't researched any of the other games in the series, but this game for sure had some minor differences from the Super Nintendo version.
Minor differences?
And by the time this game came out, we have the PAL region instead of Europe, and it released on the 25th of June in 2004 in Europe, and then Japan would actually get it on the 1st of July. So in this case, Europe actually gets it before everyone else. And then in North America, we wouldn't get it till the 15th of November of 2004, which is pretty crazy. The reverse order of things, like almost, exactly. But like, I don't know if you guys have much experience playing the handheld versions. They're actually pretty well put together. They play very similar to the Super Nintendo versions, in my experience. I will say that I also own the Game Boy Color version of the original Donkey Kong Country, and it does not play as good as the Super Nintendo version.
Yeah,
so these were definitely
there's a
upgrades.
reason Donkey Kong Land was not a straight port of Donkey Kong Country.
Exactly. So
they needed the Game Boy Advance to do that.
The Game Boy Advance games do hold up, and they do play. They're very competent ports of the originals, and they play nicely. So, definitely worth playing them over the originals for the extra content if you haven't played them before. Maybe one day we'll get these on NSO. Who knows? I know we already have the Super Nintendo versions, but it didn't stop them from releasing
we have the Mario Advance.
Yeah, so I was gonna say it didn't stop them from doing that. So, and then, so a little bit on the development of this, we kind of already talked a little bit about how quickly it was and how a lot of the assets kind of stayed the same. There's not a whole lot of major stories on, there was no hiccups or anything crazy that happened, but I thought that Sam might get a kick out of some of the titles of the game that were thought of, during the development cycle of it. Have you read through those before, Sam?
Oh, no, I have not.
So during development, this game wasn't it wasn't always going to be called Diddy's Kong Quest. They definitely had some other names. I'm trying to find them really quick.
Oh, here it sounds vaguely familiar.
So they had several working titles, including DK Rescue, Diddy's Day Out, Diddy's Wild Country, and Diddy's Wild Frontier. And then they settled on Diddy Kong's Quest. But then towards the end of development, they decided to slightly alter it to Diddy's Kong Quest to create the play on word of conquest that we know today and that we always acknowledge whenever we're talking about the game. But it's just funny. We almost got Diddy's Day Out.
Yeah, Diddy's Wild Frontier, definitely, that sounds cool, but then I might be expecting a cowboy theme. And
exactly.
I would be struggled to see a pirate theme.
Yeah.
Which I have to mention, the pirate theme is great, and it does build on K. Rool's existing characterization.
Yes.
I'm a sucker for pirate anything, so it's awesome.
Kind of slightly off topic, the pirate stuff pretty well carries over to the animated series pretty well too. There's lots of pirate enemies in that show that were Kremlings, so it does a good job of making its way back over there. And like I said, there's not a whole lot about the development. The decision to exclude Donkey Kong as a playable character is pretty big, pretty notable. The addition of Dixie, kind of reading through their development notes, they intended on having a female character as a main character for the game before development even started. They just didn't know that it would be Dixie Kong until later. And this move is done to try to increase the interest in female gaming at the time, because let's face it, it was pretty much a time period where games were being advertised for the male demographic only, it seems like. So this is kind of maybe a move where we're starting to see things shift and those things being noticed and trying to be changed on the forefront.
Well, I mean, for a long time, people wanted to, double their potential number of customers.
Yeah, that too.
Well, it's interesting that a lot of the a lot of the gender split was created when the NES came over and had to be put on the boys or girls toy shelf.
Yep.
Because I remember computer games were a lot more open to different genders trying out computer games before the Nintendo came on as a boys' toy, specifically. And now they have the Nintendo game trying to reverse.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, like you have the Game Boy, which, if they would have been trying to do this even earlier, they would have probably released a Game Girl beside it, like maybe a pink Game Boy or something of that nature.
Yeah, that's genius. Then you get the parents to buy two.
Exactly.
One for their son, one for their daughter.
And kind
by
of
Harvest Moon and Harvest Moon for girls.
And then
that's what I was.
You could create the Game Adult.
The Game Adult, yes.
That's what you call the Game Boy Advance. The Game Adult.
That's just the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, sorry.
I think of the Game Adult as like a really beat up, worn out Game Boy that has been beaten down by life.
That's seen some things.
Exactly.
Like
Screen's
like
got some cracks in it.
The one in the Gulf War.
Yeah, that's the adult Game Boy right there. The one that's been through the Gulf War.
You just play Cranky Kong Country on that.
Exactly. And kind of part of this movement to try to bring more interest to female gamers, they've also removed Candy Kong due to Nintendo feeling that there was an over sexualization of the character, which is kind of because she comes back in later games, right? If I'm,
does she?
Isn't she in 3?
You can look
I
this
thought
up.
she was
I
in
think
3.
she might be in. Is she in 64? I think she's in 64.
Yeah. So
she is not in 3. I don't
she's
believe.
There's a cameo in the Game Boy Advance remake. She appears in the Game Boy Advance remakes of 2 and 3.
She doesn't even last long enough. Like she's not kicked out long enough to stay out of the remake. Even like they're like, oh yeah, we got to bring her back.
In 64,
Tropical Freeze,
the television series.
Yeah.
She makes her way into Mario Kun, the Mario manga.
Yeah. And she's in
Picross
King
NP
of Swing.
Volume 8.
I need to play King of Swing. I bought that from Dan. I need to play that.
Oh.
Nice. So anyway, that's kind of the development. There wasn't a whole lot, like I said, but we cruised right through it. So we can talk about the story next. Story here either, but it's a platforming Super Nintendo game. They give us a little bit. Most of this probably came from the manual.
Am I allowed to read? I have the manual up. I can read the manual.
You can read the story because I think this episode, I think this came from the manual.
All right. Trouble in Paradise. Donkey Kong gulped down the last of his banana milkshake and sighed happily, his old beach chair creaking as he wrinkled his toes in the sand. This is the life, he thought to himself, the sun beating down on a clear blue sky, and no pesky banana-thieving Kremlings to worry about. Lazily, he raised a hand to wave at Funky, who was showing off his surfing expertise out on the waves with the squawking seagulls. Donkey Kong settled back and closed his eyes, thinking he'd have a little doze, when he heard the sound of shuffling feet. Before he knew what was happening, Cranky Kong bopped him on the head with his cane. "Youch," he explained, glaring at the snickering old ape standing in front of him. "Well, well," said Cranky, "what do you think you're doing sitting around all day? You won't get much of a game out of this. Or they won't get much of a game out of this, will they? I thought you were supposed to be a big star." "Even stars get time off," muttered Donkey Kong, rubbing his head. "I never did," said Cranky proudly, "whiskering off maidens and throwing barrels around the place 7 days a week. I was. That's how I got where I am today. You know, hard work. None of this lazing around on the beach." Why don't you go off and pester Diddy or something?" complained Donkey Kong. Let me have a bit of peace for once. Cranky snorted. Ha! He's off somewhere with that girlfriend of his, but still I can see when I'm not wanted. Grumbling to himself, Cranky shambled off down the beach, leaving Donkey Kong to pull his hat over his eyes. He has a hat, I guess, sinking down into his beach chair and slowly drift to sleep. When night fell and their big buddy still hadn't returned, Diddy and Dixie Kong got worried and went to look for him. As they reached the beach, they saw hundreds of strange-looking footprints that led from the sea to form a big circle around the spot where Donkey Kong's chair lay, smashed to pieces. Kremlings, Diddy gasped in horror. On top of the bits of chair, they found a note. To the yellow-bellied, land-lubbing Kong family. Ha-ar! We got the big monkey. If you want him back, you scurvy dogs, you have to hand over the banana horde. Captain K. Rool. I thought we'd seen the last of that old... Oh, wait, sorry, I forgot this is Wrinkly. I thought we'd seen the last of that old rascal for a while, sighed Wrinkly Kong. Cranky's good-natured old wife, when the rest of the family had read the Mancham note. Well, grunted Cranky, I suppose we'd better give him the bananas, hadn't we? Diddy was shocked. After all we did to get them back last time, Donkey Kong would go crazy if he lost his bananas again. Got any better ideas, you young whippersnappers? Demanded the old ape. We've got to rescue him together, of course, said Diddy and Dixie together. But Cranky just laughed. Oh, really? And who exactly is we, Count me out, dudes, said Funky, quickly, backing away from the group. I hate adventures. I think I'm a bit old for that sort of thing, said Wrinkly apologetically. And I'm sure as spit not gonna do it, snapped Cranky. Not that I'm past my prime, mind you. I could still do a better job than the rest of you put together, but I wouldn't be seen dead in a game that scrolls and has bonus levels and end bosses. What about me? Asked Diddy, stamping his foot. I went with Donkey on his last adventure. Why can't I do it? You, laughed Cranky. You've only been in one game, and you didn't even get your name in the title. You think that makes you a hero? Diddy looked discouraged, but Dixie was quick to stand up for him. Give him a chance. He could be a better hero than you ever were, she challenged. Cranky scowled. You think so, do you? You think he can make his way through all those crumlings and all those traps all by himself? He won't be by himself, she replied. I'm going with him. Diddy stared at her, and she stared defiantly back. But it's dangerous, he protested. You're not scared, are you? Of course I'm not. Well, neither am I. Don't try to argue. If you're going, I'm going with you. Diddy sighed. He knew a hopeless argument when he saw one, but still, he was Donkey's only hope. Of course, if he managed to rescue his big buddy, he'd become a real video game hero, too. Could he ask for a better chance to prove himself? Cranky was looking them over shrewdly. All right, he said. If you somehow get back safely from this and bring back that good-for-nothing donkey with you, I'll admit that maybe you have what it takes after all. But if you don't, there will never be more than cheap cameo roles for you in the future, my boy. Then he stood up straight and proud, ready for his new quest. I'll bring him back. You'll see, he declared. The others offered him encouragement. Wrinkly gave him a warm smile, while Funky offered his hand for a high five. Go for it, little dude. And as soon as the sun rose again, the brave young pair set out. I noticed that's not the exact thing it says in the Wikipedia.
No, it is not. Not even close. That was way better. I had no idea that they had put that much into the manual. That's amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm surprised how meta this game is. Like, in-game and in the manual. So, like, in the manual, Cranky, like, has objections. Like, on the page with the animal friends, he mentions, he says, a more tragic-looking bunch of useless no-hopers you'll never see. I liked Expresso and Winky. Where have they gone? And even, like, all the way at the back, he says, like, on the, like, warranty and service, he's like, I'll wager this Shadow game won't even last 3 days, so you'll be needing this warranty, I can assure you.
Yeah.
He was, like, comments throughout the manual. He also references this, like, throughout if you talk to him in-game, he references a few things. Like, his official video, like, the video game hero coins, he puts those out as an extra test. Like, the idea is he went out, hid all the video game hero coins, and there's like this stand thing, they have first, second, third place, where he like judges you based on other video game heroes, and like Mario and Yoshi and Link will be on the stands. So like that's like a part of the test. It's integrated into the story of proving themselves to Cranky, because like he went out and hit all the DK coins, which he calls video
he
game gamer
apparently
coins.
can be bothered to do that, but not to
Not
save
to actually
Donkey
save
Kong.
Donkey.
He can go. He can go to every level, but he won't. He insists he's only doing it because he doesn't want to be in a game with modern things in it.
That's right. He's just the old cranky guy that doesn't want to do anything. Things used to be way harder in his time.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. They really do it on these stories. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the first game and see if they really, did much of any of that in that manual, because I don't even know if I ever owned any of the manuals for the original games when I had them as a kid.
But I guess I was kind of thinking about this when I was playing just a little bit earlier, how all these characters do seem to be just treating it like a game because they are enjoying themselves, and it shows in a lot of the little details of animations, like when you go to Kremland, which is the theme park themed area. There's a couple levels with roller coasters, and Diddy and Dixie will lift their hands up when you go down the ramps.
Oh yeah,
just to. And like when they're in the beehive levels with the honey, they'll actually eat the honey off the walls when you're sticking to it.
Yep. Oh, they're constant, like the standing still animations, like with the yo-yos, and they're doing all kinds of things whenever you're just chilling there. It's pretty cool. So this game, I think, is broke out into, was it 8 worlds, if I remember right?
No, not 8. It's like 5 or something. There's 1, 2, because these are also listed in the manual in front of me. There's Gameplay Galley, Creme Quay. Oh, I'm reading that in the wrong order. Gameplay Galley, Crocodile Cauldron, Creme Quay, Crazy Kremland, Gloomy Gulch, and King K. Rool's Keep. So that's 6 normal worlds. There's also the Lost World, and there's a kind of extra world after you beat K. Rool's, spoilers, after you beat K. Rool's Keep, which is like his airship, but that's like 1 level and a boss.
Yeah, it's
so
like
it
the
one
level where you race his parrot with squawks.
Yeah.
Right? That's a fun level though.
So I guess that's 7 worlds and then a not so large world. But
7 worlds are kind of like an end area.
Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking, though.
And one of those is secret.
Yes. The like I said, the level designs in this game are top notch. They're definitely more vibrant in some cases. Like there was a lot of times in the original Donkey Kong Country that like things were just so dark in the game. Like it's hard to tell, pieces of the level that you can interact with the backgrounds even sometimes, especially some of the like mine levels or whatever, or even some of the underwater levels are kind of hard to discern things to the point where the game uses it to its advantage and like creates secrets where like if you butt up against a wall in certain places you can actually go through the wall. But
right,
which was also in the first game, but this game definitely has a broader variety of places that you are going, and it doesn't have an ice level, so this goes definitely in its advantage of not sliding around with a big old donkey.
It has an ice level.
It doesn't have like a whole world of ice levels though that sucks in the middle of the game.
Kind of. Okay, no, it doesn't have a whole world of ice levels. I think it might have 1 or maybe 2.
I think they got a bunch of feedback from the original game where they threw a whole ice world in there where you just slide around the whole time, and it's everyone's least favorite part of the game. You take a game that is already very slippery as far as its platforming goes, and then you add ice, and then they add extra slipperiness on top of it. So like sticking a landing on a platform in the middle of a jump and you just slide right off the end of it is not real fun.
I don't know. I wish I was missing that. I felt that it could really use me sliding off into oblivion more. I thought it could give me a criticism of the game right now.
Yeah. And then and then the bosses to me felt way more unique than the original game. Like the original game's like, okay, the boss is just going to be a larger version of one of the enemies, and
And you're
he has
gonna
like an
jump
extra
on him 3
ability.
times.
Yeah, you jump on him 3 times, and then that's it. It to me, it felt really old, like the boss battles did. Like this is like harkens back to like Mario 3, like where every time you get to the end of a castle, you fight one of the Koopalings, and it's like just jump on their head 3 times. It's that kind of feeling whenever this game is way more creative in how you fight the bosses. Like one of my favorite boss battles is the second world where you're fighting the cleaver and like you're having to jump from hook to hook to hook and getting across the level in different ways. There's just so much variety compared to
especially K. Rool at the end is a great boss fight. Just by the standards of any game, I think.
He's definitely a major upgrade over the first time you fight him in the first game.
Just in the way it starts relatively simple and teaches you what you're supposed to do and gradually makes it more complicated.
Yep.
It's great.
And this is kind of the first time where I'll mention that the Game Boy Advance version does have a separate boss that you don't fight in the original game, named Kerosene, which is a play on words for kerosene, I guess.
What's kerosene?
What is kerosene? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
It's a fuel.
I'm looking it up. Oh, that would make sense.
He breathes fire. So
yes.
There's that.
And he's just, I haven't played, I don't know that I've ever played the Game Boy Advanced version to completion. I know I played it when it released, and I don't remember fighting this boss. But just looking at some of the video footage of him, it looks like a pretty fun boss battle that would have felt right at home in the original SNES version.
I do want that. That's the goal.
Yes. And then you have the to me, King Zing is kind of the only one that kind of feels out of place because he, again, is like this, a large version of a boss. He's just a big bee.
He's a zinger. Or what are they called? The zings?
I think they're zingers.
I can actually... Yeah, zingers. The logs are back. Zingers return to endlessly buzzing. The pounding caused the Kongs all kinds of problems.
But all the levels seem like they're just way more well crafted in this version, or in this in the sequel versus the first game. And then that kind of carries on even, I think there was even some more advantages, not advantages per se, but I think they just keep getting better and better as they make the games. Like even to the newer stuff, but the third game is
yes and no. I mean, you bring up the third game. I'll defend it against a lot of the naysayers, but I do think it's open to the criticism that maybe they leaned a little too hard onto gimmicks in some of its levels, where I think 2 struck a very nice balance in giving you variety, but allowing you to not have to pre-learn what game you're playing just because you're on a different stage.
Yeah, I think I liked the variety of it. Like I said, the variety just keeps increasing as you go through the games in the series. The third game definitely plays around with more environmental aspects, to where the second game is you're basically, your characters are going to get you through the game. They don't change. There's very few times where the environmental pieces are hard to figure out. I think the third game is far more puzzly than the other 2.
Yeah.
So I do kind of see what you're talking about there, but I definitely like the direction that they're going whenever you play them versus just kind of how simple and basic the first game feels whenever you're playing it.
Yeah, it's everything you want from a sequel, right? Like it takes what was good about the original and it finds things to add to that don't interfere so much as to take away what was good.
Yeah. Takes the building blocks from the first game, and just kind of increases the quality of everything around it and quantity, which is very nice. I think the second game is easily twice as long.
Well, yeah, the first game didn't have bonus coins. There were bonus areas just for earning extra lives and bananas and things, and they counted towards your completion score. But this introduced multiple bonus coins in most levels, along with the video game hero coins. I always called them DK coins, but that is their official name.
Most people did. I'm just being a stickler because they're officially the Cranky's video game hero coins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, playing this as someone who's like played a lot of the modern stuff, like, or not even the modern DK games, but like for someone I'm used to like I started on like the new Super Mario games, and I'm used to having collectibles. It feels weird knowing that Donkey Kong Country 1 didn't have collectibles. Partially because going as a modern gamer, going back to this game, it felt very natural for there to be collectibles.
Oh, don't worry.
The collectibles were very natural. And
just wait till you get to Donkey Kong 64. You'll be...
Yeah, it definitely... And that seemed to be even just a trend in games from the like late SNES era to the N64 era, was like, let's put more collectibles in everything, everywhere, and really just get more out of our games that way.
Rare was the king of it, you know, which I think we've gone this far into.
But even like Super Mario World, Super Mario World was putting in like multiple exits to stages and things.
I mean, that's actually something interesting about Mario World is the main collectible in Mario World is exits, which is such a very interesting thing. And of course, they make it like slightly less than 100 exits. I think it's like 96 or something, because they can't just make the number say 100. But yeah, Mario World has its main thing is exits. They have the dragon coins, but they're more closer to the Kong coins in this thing, where like they just kind of give you a life.
Yep.
But I think compared to Mario World, this game, it has collectibles where you get them once and then you have them. I actually, if we're going to talk about collectibles, these are very well hidden collectibles. Like, and DK coins can be given for anything. Like in that race thing, that race I talked about, DK coin is if you win the race, you get the DK coin.
Yeah, you don't have to win the race to clear the stage. You just need to do it to get the coin.
Otherwise, yeah. I loved looking for the DK coin because it kind of could be anywhere. Like some DK coins, they usually felt very good to find the DK coin because it's usually hidden quite well. And so there's like the DK coin. There's like at least one DK coin that's like past the end. Mm-hmm. There's a few. There's one DK coin that you get for getting the. There's one DK coin you get for getting an animal a certain amount of the way. And like you could do
from
almost
what I remember,
anything.
They do have a tendency to be near the end of a stage.
That's true, but there are a few that are right by the beginning. For instance, the one dark level I know, I found you go up, and like you find a secret up, and there's a secret room. But then if you go up farther past the secret room, there's another secret room with a 1 in it. And if you check the walls, you'll find that there's 4 rooms that have 1, 2, 3, and room 4 has the DK coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
that. I mean, all the way back in the first game, there is, if you want that 101% completion, you had to get the bonus level that was inside another bonus level.
Yeah, the bonus level.
And like if you skip it, you can't get it after that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's a DK coin in a bonus level. Because the bonus levels in this game are all for Creme coins.
Yeah.
Creme coins.
Which it is nice in this game that if you don't complete one, that you can re-enter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In the original game, you can't do that.
And most of the bonuses are really not that difficult, I've found, at least in later playthroughs. I remember being super stressed about the time limit as a kid, but now I do them and I don't even try to go that fast. I'm like, oh, I have 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
but finding the bonus rooms.
Yes, finding the bonus rooms can be more difficult.
That's the hard part.
They are more difficult than the actual bonus room itself.
Now, there's some really fun. There's some ones that stump me. There's this one where you're supposed to you're supposed to get the rhino to a certain pace and then like ram through an unmarked wall. And I was watching like a review of this game, and they were like, "Yeah, it's really cool because if you know what you're doing, you'll see this long straightaway in a wall, and therefore you'll know that's where the rhino is." And I was like, "I didn't know that. I looked at that stage for hours."
That's because you didn't play the first game.
In
the first
that's
game,
where a lot of the bonus areas are.
Yeah, in the first game, they teach you right off the bat. They're like, you get the rhino, and then in the side of one of the platform that's a cliff or whatever, you can just run straight through it, and it takes you into a bonus level.
I knew that you could do that because there are other bonus levels. It took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out how to use Enguarde's charge, even though I read the manual before playing. In the first level, I read the manual before playing. I got up to it, and it was just A, and I was like, A, that's a weird letter. And it took like a few like runs of the stage for it to click, I'm supposed to charge here. And that changed my perspective. Actually, there's a really fun one in the spider level, late game, I think the Creme Quay. To get to one of the bonus rooms, you have to, and this took a while, but it was really satisfying to figure out, is it just has a back arrow. And I'm like, what does this mean? It's just an arrow pointing to the left. And I eventually, by kind of accident, like, because like there's a cannon guy, he shoots, and by accident I don't kill him, and I see a cannon, and like right by the arrow, and I'm like, oh, you're supposed to get him to shoot backwards at you, so you have to go a little ways. He shoots backwards. You follow the cannon back, because by the time you get to the cannon guy, the original bonus area is off screen, and then let it blow up the wall.
Yeah.
Which I was really satisfied to figure out, but also very frustrating to not figure out. And I died a lot of. Also, embarrassingly, I didn't realize you could just leave stages until after I had 100% of the game. That's a thing you could do. I didn't have to just kill my guy every time. It's possible.
So, another thing too, when you mentioned the spider, I was replaying recently, and I forgot that I wasn't thinking in my head that he has two abilities. You know, he can either just shoot the web out as a weapon, or he can shoot it out and turn it into a platform. I actually completed the whole level without creating a platform.
Yeah, Squitter is honestly like overpowered. Like, I love him, but I also completely understand why they didn't bring him back, because like he's easy mode.
Oh, he breaks the game.
Yeah, I mean you can go anywhere on the screen by just making your little webs, and you've also got a projectile which he can curve. Which this is a game that you know, picking up a barrel is a rare occasion normally. Now you can hit everything from anywhere on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
You can be anywhere on the screen, hitting anything anywhere else on the screen.
I will say he is debuffed a little by my own ignorance, because I would learn and then I forget that I can curve things, because it's just not something I do very often. So then I'll be like, man, it's too hard to get this enemy and go downwards, even though I could just curve it, and that's a known mechanic. I just keep forgetting that it exists.
So we've kind of talked around a lot of it. Is there any aspects or any levels that you want to bring up specifically? I know that you mentioned one earlier in the episode, Flightsy.
Oh yeah, I do. I also, on the topic of secrets, I do also want to talk a little bit about. So aspects-wise, I want to talk about the buying things. But levels-wise, I want to talk about. Okay, I should preface by saying one of the great things about this game is, despite its reputation for being hard, despite the fact that some of the difficult levels are very frustrating, is that it is a very smooth difficulty curve. There isn't any points where I felt noticed the spike, and I was like, yes. Like, there wasn't any moments where it surprised me with how difficult. It gradually gets difficult. Like, I did the first level, not too bad. The second level, not too bad. And it kept being like that. It's like boiling the frog, where, like, by the end, I'm having a lot of trouble. But I kind of haven't realized, like, it's very nice, and, like, I was definitely having more trouble on the last world than earlier worlds. But it's a very nice
It
kind of,
locks you
like,
in.
smooth difficulty curve. Yeah. And then Animal Antics happens at the very end of the game. Now, to be fair to Animal Antics, it's the very last Lost World level. It's the very last normal level that you'll play. And so it kind of gets a little bit of a pass. You get to have you get to use you get to try all the animals. It uses all the animals. And I remember there's this very specific moment where you go through the animals and you get to a part with parts in the sky. You have, like, the spider. You go up to the sky because you're on the ground with the spider. You go in a barrel. You get shot up to the sky, and it's beautiful because it's the first time you see the bramble sky without the brambles in the background. It's the bramble theme. It's got the Sticker Bush Symphony playing, and it's got them. But normally there's this hunk of brambles behind you, in the bramble levels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about. And this level in Animal Antics, I think only in Animal Antics, they're gone, and it's a clear blue sky. And it's kind of beautiful, like, going up there that first time and realizing, like, because it's such a familiar thing, and it's already a very beautiful kind of ambience, but now it's clear blue. And then you get a certain ways, and you get Squawk, and they added wind. And they make you do, in this very serene, beautiful environment, squawks with wind. Wind that alternates back and forth on a regular interval. And it is the most annoying thing I have ever played.
Yeah, the wind
That
is pretty
the only
brutal.
difficulty.
There's a reason it doesn't show up until Ghastly Gulch.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
It's already a precise thing. It's already such a precise thing to use squawks. And then with wind, because like the deceptive thing is you'll be going slow. You'll be going so slow. And you're like, yeah, this is slow. I got this. And then, like, in a blink of an eye, you'll, like, just go a little bit further and you'll accelerate instantly and slam into a wall.
Yep.
I don't know how it happens. It feels like it's like I'm being super careful. Bam. It's like it's so hard to get used to. And it's the second to last section. And after that, there's a section with the snake that's pretty precise. It's not too difficult. It only took me 3 tries, but there's no health barrel and there's no checkpoint. So each of those 3 tries was, like, every time it only took me 3 tries, but that's 3 tries that then I had to do the squawk section again. So it's Animal Antics. It's like, so every level in this game is very well difficulty-ified, except for Animal Antics. Animal Antics
is very aptly named.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a little bit of a pass for being basically the final hard level at the end of the game.
I think speaking of Animal Antics is the perfect place to kind of go through the list of your animal friends that are in the game. We get Ramby back from the first game, as we've already talked about, and Engard, the swordfish. He actually feels slightly different in the second game. I don't know what it is. It's one of those where I can't quite put my finger on what's different, but he feels a little bit different when you're using him. And then Rattly the rattlesnake is a new...
Definitely feels like an alternate form of Winky from the first game.
Yes.
Jump high, can land on dangerous enemies you normally can't, like bees.
Yes. And then we've talked about Squitter the spider, who's broken. We've also talked about Clapper the seal, who is a very unusual seal. Squawks the parrot, which Squawks is in the first game too, right? Isn't he?
He is, but he's just holding the flashlight and giving you
just holds
seizures.
the light for you. That's what I was
Well,
thinking.
no, especially in the original, like that animation when he turns around, he actually faces the screen, and there's like a bright flash, and I'm like, this is painful to look at.
And then I have in the notes here that there's Quox, the parrot, which is that
the purple
That's
one.
the guy you race, I think.
No, he's talking about the purple Squawks.
The purple Squawks is just Quox. And
I don't know
just
I don't know the bad guy
stinks.
parrot's name.
No, yeah, right. Wait, I'll look it up.
He's kind of like just a D-rated version of Squawks. Like he can't throw the rocks or whatever.
He like falls down.
Yeah. So what is he spitting? I've seen people call them eggs, and I'm like, those aren't eggs.
No, it looks like rocks to me.
So for whatever reason, I guess because he's a parrot, I thought they were crackers.
Really?
That's what we decided when I was a kid.
We've got 3 different...
I thought they were coconuts.
Coconuts.
Okay.
Yeah,
they're kind of oddly shaped and colored to be.
This is where DK got the idea for his coconut gun?
Yeah.
That's what I thought they were coconuts. So the bad guy is called Screech. He's Screech.
That makes sense. But yeah, no. We'll have to find out what Squawk's actually, his projectile actually.
On the fandom wiki, which is not an independent wiki, so we can't trust it entirely, says they're eggs. I'm not really sure I believe them.
Yeah, I don't believe it. Only that, but how bad of a parent is Squawks if he's just like throwing his eggs everywhere?
Also, I don't think
they're fertilized.
Biology has you throw. To me, it looks like he's throwing.
Yoshi throws eggs.
The eggs.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. It looked like they're coming out of his mouth. So like,
this confirms my coconut theory. Except that how he got all those coconuts in his mouth. Don't worry about that.
He's like a chipmunk version of a parrot.
Yeah,
you can just load up. I don't know. It's weird. They definitely don't look like eggs to me. To me, they just looked like a clump of rock or something of that nature. Whenever Sam's saying crackers, like I just ultimately think saltines, and they definitely don't look like a saltine.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like yellow colored, Yeah. They're like round and yellow. They're just round yellow lumps. I don't know what they're supposed to be.
I don't know if I'm playing with on my OLED, they look like they're kind of darker, like an orange color.
I thought they were brown. I thought they were coconut colored.
Yeah.
Look, I'll look up Squawk's shaft, which is, of course, they definitely did that one on purpose. What's the name of the level? I'm looking through it to see if I can see what it looks like.
While he's looking at that, we do have a couple more. We have Glimmer, the anglerfish, which is the little fish that lights up the water level while you're in there.
Okay, so they're kind of like looking at it more closely on the HD TV, I can kind of see why they're called eggs. They're speckled and they're like orange, but they look like a potato now. Now they look like a potato. Looking at them up close, they look like a potato. They're potato colored. They're like a tan potato.
They have like red dots.
The speckles.
That's just weird.
Like here, I'll pause it when
Why would you cough up eggs?
Yeah, that's weird. And then this is the second difference that I've seen documented between the SNES version and the GBA version. But in the GBA version, you actually get a Espresso 2. Espresso. And he's supposed to be like a descendant of the original Espresso.
Huh.
So, but not Espresso Jr. Because we don't talk about Donkey Kong Jr.
Yes. Which,
of course.
Why Kitty should have just been Donkey Kong Jr., right?
Or is it Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong's dad, because Donkey Kong Jr. is the original Donkey Kong's son?
No, Cranky Kong is the original.
Cranky Kong is the original Donkey Kong.
Yeah. We don't know what happened to
Donkey
Jr.
Kong Jr., but Donkey Kong Jr. was... So I would think Donkey Kong Jr. would be... Because Donkey Kong is the grandson of Cranky Kong, right? Which would make Donkey Kong Jr. Donkey Kong's father.
Yeah, but then why does he look younger than Donkey Kong and Mario Tennis?
Well, Mario Tennis also has Mario Baby
That's
Mario, right?
true. That's true.
Yes.
Time
So
travel.
there's some time bending going on.
Yes. Time travel in Mario Tennis. But yes.
Or it just takes place in like an
Yeah,
outside
so
universe that
Espresso
isn't
2.
related to Ben's.
Espresso the
Yeah.
second.
Maybe he's the child of
That's
Espresso.
interesting. So is he just inserted into another level, or
I think he has his own level.
Does the GBA game have its own world? Like, because like we got a new animal, we got a new boss. Is there like an extra world in the GBA version? Because it kind of feels like it.
I mean, it's not Animal Antics unless it has an Espresso 2 section as well, right? You got to have
It's
all
true.
the animals.
Well, that's and it could be. I'm trying to find out real quick. See if I can do it in less time. See. So it says here that Espresso 2 is an animal buddy. Found in the GBA version of Donkey Kong Country 2. This bird is the new animal buddy of Cranky Kong. He's only found in the locations of Cranky's hut. After finding 3 golden feathers in any stages and receiving another one from Cranky Kong by picking the option Cranky's Surprise in any Cranky's hut, the old primate will allow the heroes to use the feathers to freely power up the bird and control him during races in the Espresso Racing minigame against 3 other Espressos.
Oh, obviously, of course, that makes
Yes,
sense.
Espresso 2 possesses a total of 40 slots for upgrading, equally divided into the stats strength, speed, flight, and boost, which is really weird because he is a ostrich and he has a stat for flight. During
If you raise it high
players,
enough, he stops being an ostrich.
yeah, I guess you can upgrade his wings.
Turns into an eagle.
Let's see. During races, players must avoid being pushed by other racers, jump over elevated ground and obstacles such as water and mud, and do not fall down into pits like spike traps. Running over red arrows will give Espresso a short boost of speed, and collecting golden feathers on the track allows Espresso to make a short flight and collect bird grains. Also can be used to give him a short boost of speed.
I think it's interesting that Espresso is one of the is Cranky's bird because Cranky mentioned in the manual that he wants Espresso and Winky
He
back.
does, and then he
And
gets
there's
him
also
back.
I was scrolling through quotes because I was trying to find some of the. I want to talk about Cranky's quotes eventually, so I was scrolling through them, and I found one for when you enter the Monkey Museum where he has the chance to say, "Where's Espresso? A clumsy spider and a fat parrot. Is that the best they can think of?" So there's also things he mentions in the game about wanting Espresso.
I'm going to try to see also to kind of answer your other question if there's another stage. Trying to see if there.
Well, so it is interesting that
Find that
he's confined to a mini game, which is kind of separate from the main.
Well, that's what I was trying to look. Where does the new boss fit in? You know.
From what I was seeing, it is like you have to beat him before you enter K. Rool's Keep.
Okay. Yep. He's fought at the end of K. Rool's Keep.
End of K. Rool's Keep.
Yeah, on Stronghold Showdown. He replaces the cutscene, I guess.
I mean, like other bosses, I mean he's his own stage, right?
Yes. And how he works is he slams his 2 fists into walls, and he will grab 2 cleavers, the boss, and he will attack them with the cleavers. And then cannonballs will appear, and the monkeys will need to throw them at the cleavers. That's how you kind of defeat him. It's kind of funny how they throw him in there, and he's like utilizing other bosses in the game as weapons.
Well, that's always kind of a good way to sell. Like this guy's using the World 2 boss as a weapon. Like it's a good way to kind of sell him as a tough guy. You know,
it's pretty cool. They do a good job. Now I'm just even more curious about are there any other changes? I'm gonna have to. Here we go. I found a section of it. Let's see. There's an entirely new main menu which gives access to game files. You can do Diddy's Bash or the bonus games from the menu. Diddy's Dash is a time trial mode for regular stages. Says the game's physics are slightly different on the GBA version, which I have noticed playing that. The secondary character now follows the Kong in the lead more accurately.
This is somewhat unrelated, but I got a glitch to happen where like the wrong Kong was lit up, like the guy I was playing as was dark, and the one who was following was lit up. I don't remember how I did it though, but I did it multiple times.
This is cool. So in the GBA version, since it released after DK64, they've updated all the Kongs to have voice clips that came from Donkey Kong 64 in the GBA version.
That's very in keeping with the Mario Advance games as well, which also added voice clips for Mario at least.
It's pretty cool. An exploit. There's also an exploit that allows you to obtain all 75 Crim coins in the very first stage of the game.
Oh yeah, I thought that was in the original too. It was like a kind of code. There's a secret.
Yes, no. Actually, in the GBA version, that has been removed. So that did exist in the SNES version.
Oh yeah, there are some codes. I never used them, but there are codes. I forgot. Let's look up the codes. Because some of the stuff you can do. Donkey Kong Country 2 codes. Because I know there were a few. I guess we'll use the IGN one. Apparently there's a way to warp 14 under the endo. Well, I think level in Crocodile Cauldron, but I think that's less of a code and more like a very secret shortcut.
Yeah.
And then there's similar thing in the first one. There's a way to get a lot of extra lives. Push you through the level until you got to through cloak throwing barrels. First we'll run off the room and throw another barrel, leave. Won't be too far before you throw to go to the B, break the chest to beat, repeat this. Okay, so annoying thing about looking up cheats on websites like IGN is that they have no distinction between actual codes and just kind of tricks that people think.
Yeah.
So that's annoying. That's a glitch. Alright, at the Game Boy select screen, at the cheat mode option, you could select YA select A down, left A down for 50 lives. In the 75 Prem coins is in Pirate Panic, go into K-Rool's cabin, don't collect the balloon, leave, jump over the first 2 bananas, collect the next bunch on top of the barrels, still avoiding the first pair of bananas, return to the cabin and grab the balloon, repeat step 2, and then return to the cabin, still avoiding the first 2 bananas, you'll get a floating Prem coin in the air, which has all of them. There's cheat mode. It's go in the music test, press down repeatedly until cheat mode appears. You could eliminate DK barrels by pressing B, A, right, A, left, A, X.
That's hard mode.
You could check how many DK coins you have at Cranky's Video Game Heroes place by pressing LRRLRRLRR until a screen comes up that says Cranky's Video Game Heroes. I think isn't there also? Let me look this up.
So I guess really,
this might be
if you do the exploit to get all the Crim coins, you can actually like skip a lot of the game because there's all the shortcuts where you can pay the Crim coins to bypass.
Yeah, if you want to get rid of all the fun, you can get all the Crim coins at the beginning.
I would not be surprised if doing so gets like Cranky Kong to call you a cheater.
Does it actually? Is there Crim?
I feel like that would be very appropriate.
It would be.
Cranky calls you cheater. I'm going to look this up, see if this is like... Because that does sound like something that would happen. Alright, so it says it won't give you 102% Like, it won't actually... The percentages are still dependent on the real creme coins.
Gotcha. So basically,
because
stages will mark with carrying over from all the games. Yeah. If you clear all the bonus coins in a stage, that stage will have an exclamation point at the end of its name.
That's true.
And the DK symbol will show up if you've got the hero coin.
Yeah, that is something I noticed halfway through the game, which was great because beforehand
it won't let you know if you have 1 out of 2 or 2 out of 3 bonus coins.
No, but that was useful because I had a document open listing how many creme coins that I would theoretically check against how many I needed. So I was like, so then I'll know which ones I probably have and which ones have less creme coins. So I might want to check there later. And I was kind of dreading having to go back and check until I realized, wow, a lot of these seem to have more exclamation points than I remember. And then also whole worlds will get exclamation points. And then in World 3, I was like, oh, thank God it keeps track for me. I don't have to have this giant notes document.
Oh, man. That's kind of all I have in the notes. Do you guys have anything that you feel we haven't covered?
I do.
Go for it.
The economy. You see, Cranky, so there are 3 main collectibles that it lists in the manual. The creme coins, which we talked about, the banana bunch, the Cranky's video game hero coins, and the banana bunch coins. So here's something I learned playing the game, is that you need banana bunch coins to buy things. And there are a few places you can buy things. That is... sorry, give me a second. I have to go down and find all the things. There are 5 places you can buy things. Funky's Flights, Swanky's Bonus Bonanza, Wrinkly's Kong Kollege, Cranky's Monkey Museum, and Clubba's Kiosk. Clubba's Kiosk uses creme coins, so it's kind of not the same thing. So there's 4 main areas, right? Funky's Flights, Swanky's Bonus Bonanza, Wrinkly's Kong Kollege, and Cranky's Monkey Museum that you can buy with banana coins. I have to ask, you two are experts, how would you rank those 4 in usefulness?
Well, the Kong Kollege is number 1 because that's how you save.
Yes.
Right.
The first save is free at each location.
Yeah.
But you save and you get hints. Swanky is just for extra lives, but that's helpful if you need them. You have to pay each time to enter his quizzes, but they're one time. Once you win the quiz, you get a balloon of a color corresponding to the difficulty of the quiz, and that's that. And then I don't remember even using the others. Well, Funky occasionally you'll use if you backtrack, if you're going for that 100%.
John, how would you rank these?
Pretty much in the same order. I was trying to remember what Cranky's...
Do you want me to tell you what they do?
Yeah, what's the...
So, Wrinkly and Cranky both give you hints. Wrinkly will tell you general game hints, like how to defeat enemies. Mm-hmm. Cranky will tell you where secrets are.
Gotcha.
He gives you kind of riddles, actually. I'll read some of his quotes. Try using your team throw at the start in Pirate Panic. So that gets you that little bonus. Below the first seal, you'll find something worth getting your Furbird for the lava level. There's here's one of my favorite. Right is right at the start. One of the benefits, I think, of having Rare and English developer do Cranky's quotes is that you don't have to worry about translation issues. These are all going to be, at least for us English speaking people, is fairly
correct.
Easy. Correct. For that one secret for in Red Hot Ride that I took forever to find is take it easy. Let the rhino use his head to get you through the first half. And that's that secret. Things are starting to look up on this level, which I believe is telling you to look up at the start. Where you find one, there may be 2 in Haunted Hall, which is a very cool secret where, like, if you go up to, like, one of the bonus rooms, you can jump over it and get to a second bonus room. So that's what he's referencing there. You get the idea. I have a few of those I'm going to point out specifically later that I'm saving. I think my favorite, not my favorite, but there's also Animal Antics is the end is not the end.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he does stuff like that. So that's cranky.
Yeah, I definitely didn't use. I mean, obviously the save. The university is probably the number one, but that's negated by playing on the Nintendo Switch anyway because you just have save states, so you don't have to worry about that as much.
That's true.
I did like the quizzes are usually pretty fun, just to see how much you remember from, your surroundings and the enemies and stuff.
And this is Swanky's debut. Swanky Kong.
It is Swinky's debut.
Yeah. Wasn't in the first game.
No, you just had Funky and Cranky and Wrinkly,
And Candy.
right? And Candy.
No Wrinkly, I don't think.
Are you sure? I thought Wrinkly was a. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this is the
Candy was the save point.
Well.
Funky was the travel, and Cranky just yelled at you.
Yeah, Cranky's always.
I think he gave hints too, but you had to wait.
Yep, Brinkley definitely debuted in the second game.
And then because her thing became saving, so she sort of took Candy's place.
Yep, that's correct.
Because that's what she does in 3 as well.
Do you want to hear my assessment?
Yes, let's hear your assessment, and then we can close her down.
All right. So, at the bottom of number 4, I gotta put Swanky's Bonus Bonanza. It's fun. It's where it's got some interesting fun facts. It's quite fun. I love all the little facts, but it's not very useful, especially since. So the fun thing about so here's something very important to know about banana coins. They respawn every time you start a level. They respawn. Creme coins don't respawn. DK coins don't respawn because those are all you get them once and then never again. Banana coins respawn. Second thing you need to know is once you spend a banana coin and unlock something, it's unlocked for life. Now, that's a good thing for all 3 of the other ones, but for Swanky's, that means you don't get to play the game again, so it's not a good thing. It means you can't use it to grind lives, and so that means it's not a good thing. So for utility purposes, I have to put Swanky's down at the bottom. After this, I'm going to put, even though that's the only one I think is really not, that I didn't really use. Well, I did all of the quizzes because I wanted to experience them. But I'm going to put Cranky's Monkey Museum next because I really do like Cranky's Monkey Museum. I want to put a highlight on it because I do like it. I should specify because I made a point of trying to do this as I would in the day. So how I play this, I wanted to do it authentically. And that included a few things. It included, one, I read the manual before I played it because as a kid I obviously would have read the manual if I got it. And number 2, I didn't look up I looked up as little stuff as possible. I think at one point I looked up something about how many creme coins are in each level before I learned about the exclamation point thing. But I didn't look up anything, and some of these hints were very helpful. A few of them, because some of the coins are very cryptic, and it was actually really fun figuring out Cranky's riddles. I have 2 that I specifically remember figuring out. That was very fun. So I can say that I found all of these without looking any of these locations up. And a lot of these are quite fun. So the one for, let's see, where is it? All right, so Bramble Scramble, right? There's the hint for Bramble Scramble is the fruit is always fresher on the other side of the thorns. Jump to it. And I thought this meant that I had to jump at the beginning of the level, right? Because there's thorns, there's a gap between thorns, so you can jump to get a coin. But I'm searching this place for a DK thing because I could see I can see there's a banana somewhere that I can't figure out how do I get that banana. So I'm searching and I don't have the DK coin yet. I know it's there. I was searching and I remember just sitting there and I was like, is this an invisible wall? No, it's not. I ram into it. It kills me. And then I'm standing there and I'm looking. The fruit is always fresher on the other side of the thorns. Jump to it. And I just, on a move, just jumped to the other side, and I passed through the wall because it's only on the upper area. And I was like, I see it. I figured it out because it's telling you that when you see the fruit on the other side of the thorn, you can jump to it, and so that helped me get a DK coin there. I quite like that one. And then there's also this one where I definitely botched it. I was searching all over in Chain Link Chamber, which you're going to hear more about in this section. When cannonballs are raining down on you, I suggest you look for a way past who's responsible. And I misinterpreted this. I thought, I gotta find an animal. I thought I was looking for an animal because that would be a way past who's responsible. I thought the way past is what's responsible, and it turns out what I actually had to do, and I finally found it, is I had to find a way past the people shooting the cannons at me, and I was stuck on that one for a while before I just basically randomly hit. And it doesn't help that the DK coin is also near the cannon, so it's kind of hard to tell if it's talking about the DK coin or the Krem coin because some of these don't even talk to coins. I remember in the first world, there is Lockjar's Locker is below the letter K. You'll find a reward if you avoid the danger, and that's just a lot of banana coins. There's just a secret, a floor you can go through that's a lot of banana coins. But I really like the Cranky Museum because it made going for 100% without looking stuff up a lot more fun than it would have been if it was just trying to brute force. And it felt way cooler to look for and to figure out these little riddles. So I really like that, but it has to be number 3. You're going to be shocked by my number 2, BuzzFeed Cliffhanger. I am putting Wrinkly's Kong College as the second most useful thing. Saving's very good. Saving's very helpful. It's very useful. You're going to want to save. In fact, this is actually a thing. The hints aren't very useful because most of it actually even says in the manual. Of course, this manual will tell you almost everything you need to know, but since most people don't read the manual, you can get a lot of basic game education in Wrinkly's Kong schoolroom. So it says that in the manual. And it's kind of true. But I had to highlight, for Wrinkly Kong, the last 2 quotes Wrinkly Kong says because they're quite funny. Because Wrinkly Kong advice. So in the Flying Croc, she has only 2 hints. The first one is, all but one of my lessons are useful in your quest. And the second one is, for about K. Rool, make sure you have plenty of lives. So the 2 play off of each other. Because I think all but one of my lessons are useful is the free one, and you have to pay for make sure you have plenty of lives. So I have to say that. But I'm going to put Funky's Flights as the most useful. And here's the thing. Now, I, as part of my thing, resisted using save states to be more authentic. And so, what I found is that, Wrinkly's Kong College means that you have a save, but saves cost banana coins. And the first save is free, so it's always good to find a Wrinkly's Kong College. It's great because it means you're gonna get through it. You're gonna have enough, but you can't just save whenever you want. So you can still lose quite a bit of progress with just the Kong College. Here's the thing, though. Once you leave a world, right? So once you enter a world, you can't go to other worlds unless you have Funky's Flights, right?
Yeah.
You're stuck there. You're not allowed to go to other worlds once you enter a world with Funky's Flights. And if you buy Funky's Flights in any world, then that airport is free to use forever after. Again, that kind of thing coming up where you can use it again forever after is very useful. And the first level and a couple of levels in the first world are very easy to grind coins and grind stuff. So, if you have a Funky's Flights, you can always go back to grind coins. No matter if you get to your last and lives, you can grind coins and lives and basically make sure you never game over and never lose progress. If you have a Funky's Flights open, because you can just go back to the first world, grind it off, go to use the plane in the first world to get back, because after you unlocked the plane in the first world, you never have to pay for that again. So even if you have no coins, you can always go back. And get coins to save. And that is insanely useful. And there's this interesting thing, right? once you establish your infrastructure in a world, like you get your wrinklies, you get your funkies, then it's all sea sailing, right? You can take each level at a time and pretty much take it at your own pace. But before that, there's this frantic mad dash as you get to the later worlds to get to a Wrinkly's Kongs and to get to a Funky's Flights. And I remember on the last world, I was up like really late at night trying to get to the Funky's Flights so I could have the established home base. Because here's the second thing. If you game over, you lose all of your, like, if you leave the game, if you shut off the game, you lose all your lives, you lose all your coins.
Yeah,
so I wanted to
lives
make sure I
reset to
got to the
5,
Funkies.
actually.
Yep.
Yeah. Fine. You guys shit to 5 and you lose all
you
your
lose all
coins.
you go back to 0.
Yeah.
You game over forever.
Yeah.
You die. Anyway, the point is, I didn't want to get to Funky's Fights, not be able to pay for it, lose progress, try to get the bananas because I didn't even know that you could leave a stage. Remember, so I really was terrified of basically being stuck in the world. So I was staying up till like 4 a.m. to try and get the Funky's Fight in the last world, which is like right after the penultimate level, because in the last world. So I remember I was because if I didn't have the 2 coins to play for the flight, I couldn't establish my base and be safe forever. And so I was going, and then I got to like the last level right before the plane. I get to Chain Link Chamber, second to last level, only one after its Toxic Tower, and I'm rushing through the level. And for some reason, Chain Link Chamber is one of the only levels where the checkpoint barrel is off screen. So I am rushing through this level as fast as I can and missing the checkpoint barrel entirely. And it was because at this point I had gotten Wrinkly, so I had saved, so I could get to it, and I had been able to save after enough levels, so that gaming over wasn't too much of an issue. But I didn't want to turn the game off and not have coins, and so because I think even if you game over, you keep your coins. Basically, I was rushing to get to end to finish Chain Link Chamber before the end of the night. The hours tick down, and I'm completely missing it. And it's a very hard level, and a lot of trial and error that I'm restarting at the level for. And it created this entire thing, and it was crazy. But anyway, that's my thesis on why, if you're 100%ing the game, Funky Flights, I did not think that would be useful when I read about it in the manual. But it turned out to be like the thing I wanted the most out of any world. And yeah.
Nice. Well, Sam, do you have
That's
any closing comments?
No. Is good game.
Very good game.
It's a good game. Good game.
Yes. Good.
It's the Good Game Award.
That's
go
ahead, Flighty.
I can't like hearing that the Donkey Kong Country doesn't have like secrets in the way like this has, where like you can get the exclamation point, like it like
so there are exclamation points. It does track if you have uncovered the bonus, and it does give you a 100. It does give you a completion percentage, and there is a 101 is where it caps. And Donkey Kong Country 3 actually caps at 103.
Right. But it doesn't feel, knowing that the collectibles elevated the experience for this game. I really loved finding them. I really loved not using the internet at all and finding them based on the hints and the level design and some of the brilliant little level design secrets where like you'll see a banana that's slightly out of place and you'll know there it is. That's the thing. And combined with the hints, I really think it's hard for me to imagine Donkey Kong Country without that kind of thing, because it was such a good, brilliant part of this game.
Well, you can play Donkey Kong Country 3, and then you've got collectibles in the overworld. You got banana birds, you got a barter quest.
Yeah, they actually introduced traveling, like ulterior traveling in the third game, where like you get hovercrafts and things like that to help you traverse the overworld. So it kind of changes. I mean, I definitely wouldn't skip the first game. Like it's so quick and paramount to the series.
It's a breezy,
you need to
fun playthrough.
Yeah, I would definitely play it. But Yeah, I think that's.
We're gonna talk about music.
Yes, we can talk about music. I almost
You have to.
forgot. We have to. I mean, this is a very good David Weiss production. It just the what's the? We already mentioned it once in here. The Bramble.
Stickerbrush Symphony.
Yes,
we mentioned it on the last episode of the podcast too. Actually,
we did. Yeah, it's a very well known song. You know, maybe not everybody knows it by name, but like it's very distinctive, and you know it when you hear it.
There's the one snake level where it's green and a pirate ship that's green has a really fun jazzy. I think it's a version of the main theme.
Yep.
Yeah, I know the one you're thinking of.
That was fun. I have to say, I have become addicted. Another reason Funky's Flight is surprisingly the best is it has got a really good theme.
Yeah.
I really like the Funky's Flight themes. In the Funky's Flights 2, because it's the sequel to the first one, and it's way different than the first game's theme, because I went back and listened to it, because I had to know.
Yeah, this is... I have the... I'm trying to remember which one it is. I either have this soundtracked on vinyl, or I had this soundtracked on cassette tape. One or the other. And I gave the cassette tape that I had to Dan, because I know I have it's either the first game I have on vinyl or the second game, and then whichever one isn't on vinyl I have on cassette tape.
I've always liked Mining Melancholy as well. It's a really good track.
So many good tracks
on it. It's just a very good... It's a really solid music game.
There's that one track. It's not the best, but like it always kind of stood out to me. It plays on the it's the roller coaster level in the Ghostly Gulch, where the giant pirate ghost is chasing you, and it kind of it sticks out to me because it literally sounds, maybe it's supposed to, it sounds like Night on Bald Mountain. It's got like the...
Well, it has like a build up to it.
Yeah.
Like as you're going.
I'm sorry we've made your editing job like 50% harder, because you're going to have to put these themes in here to talk about.
I'll find good music to put in here for sure. I already have.
You got to put Funky's Flights to it.
We'll put Funky's...
You need to.
We'll put Funky's Flights in there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Funky will fly again.
But no, I think we're gonna have to close this out before I run out of time, and we'll get through the
one last thing.
Go ahead.
This is one last moment. Final level of the game before K. Rool, the one where you have to Screech's Flight or something. The bonus room in that one. There is this bonus room in Screech's Flight. You mentioned at the very beginning of this podcast that Mario has more of the precise platforming. Screech's Flight is a thing, like, first off, it's a really well hidden bonus room. You have to go off screen and find it and stuff. But there is that one bonus room that's just so precise. I literally looked up videos to try and figure out how they did it, and I couldn't tell just by looking at the videos. There was no trick to it, because you have to use Diddy Kong's little like thing where you have to use Diddy. So there's Dixie sections where you just have to fly, but like you have to use Diddy Kong's thing where he falls off a little and then you jump.
Yeah, the cartwheel
and
jump.
The cartwheel jump, and it's just so precise. I don't even know how I did it. I just eventually accidentally got it, and like you have to do it twice. It's like there's just this really precise version. So there is one moment of incredibly precise platforming in that Screech's level. I just wanted to point it out just because I remembered it.
Nice.
Stuck out to me.
Yeah, anytime we can mention Diddy's cartwheel jump, because that's a very crucial part of the platforming. Use it all the time.
It's quite fun, and I love how like they're like some secrets depend on it, which on to Donkey and Diddy's, and because Dixie can't do it, right?
No, because she does a twirl instead of with her hair instead of doing a cartwheel.
It's a skill issue.
Yeah, very much. Donkey couldn't do it either because he had like the roll.
No, he could do it.
He could have, but it's more difficult to time when you needed to jump. A lot of times you just end up rolling off of the platform. Seems like Diddy's was a lot easier to pull off timing wise.
Except for in that one bonus room where it's just so, I don't know why, like the jump there is just so tight. You're just, I had to mention.
So we'll move into the outro portion, and Flatsy, I don't know if you have anything going on that you're doing. I know you've promoted things in the past. I'll give you a chance again.
I'm going to stop promoting the Kirby's Dream Land review. It's halfway through editing. I've made some progress, but I'm hopefully it'll be. You know what? No, I'm not going to tell you when I think it'll be done. That's hidden information. You don't know. Anyways, it's been a bit of a slowdown on that. But I will tell you right now, I'm editing episodes for my one-shot stream into really poorly edited kind of Let's Play-esque video. It's not stream highlights in the particular sense because I'm trying to basically edit them how I used to edit my really long live stream things. Not my really long just recording sections before I started live streaming them. So there's episodes of one shot. They're like 20 or so, 15 to 20 minutes long, where I just play through them. They were live streamed, but again, I'm going for more of a Let's Play format in these edited videos.
Okay.
But I don't have a ton of time, so they're not super well edited. Mostly just cuts when there's empty space, but not so many cuts. That's just the highlights. That's going through one shot right now. That's the stream I'm on. And what I'm streaming right now on Fridays at 9 CSCT. I'm just gonna say CT because I don't know if we're in S or D right now. Central Time. I'm streaming Sonic Adventure 2 because my chat voted for it, and I'm still streaming it. I started the year streaming it because I said, Sonic Adventure 2. I got 100% that game because that's what I try and do on the channel. I try and 100% that game. We're on episode 26 or something. It's been a stream 26, and they're like 3-hour streams. It's been a long while, and I have a lot of interesting thoughts on Sonic Adventure 2 now that I've played so much of it.
Are you playing it on the GameCube?
And it was also, I'm playing it. I don't. So, thing about is I'm at college. I did not bring my GameCube to college because I don't really have a monitor for it, and also I don't want to.
I shall say, are you playing the GameCube version?
I'm playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on Steam.
Okay.
This is an important distinction because on Steam, the Mystic Melody portals are invisible for no reason.
Nice. I just know that there's a lot of additional content on the GameCube version versus the Dreamcast version.
We have the additional content, but because it's on Steam, we also have additional glitches that weren't on the GameCube version.
Nice.
Fun.
Yay! And I would love to do I feel qualified enough that if you said like, we're going to do a Sonic Adventure 2 episode, I'd be like, I'm going on that.
We will
because I have a lot
we'll
of
get to it
thoughts
eventually
on that.
because it's a game that I played on GameCube whenever I had my GameCube originally.
I guess I should be saying Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Yes.
But yeah.
Battle.
Fighting. I probably should have said my YouTube channel is called Flight Ship, and everything's YouTube. I don't have Twitch. Everything's on YouTube.
And then, Sam, what have you been streaming lately? We'll get to that.
Battle Network 3. Battle Network 3 Blue. I am also working on 100% completion there, or at least getting all of the menu stars. So I'm working on the 6th one. I am sort of hitting a brick wall on the 7th. I need some help with that because there's some chips I need to trade for, or else get from the chip trader for random. So hopefully I can do one of those things by next week, because otherwise I'm going to run out of other things I can do. But we'll see. That's all on the YouTube channel now. Once again, that is on YouTube. under the channel name Third Strongest Mole. It's going to be under live, and it all goes to the playlist as well. I have playlists for everything I've done a complete playthrough on. That's the Mother Trilogy and over half of the Battle Network series at this point.
And this is on Mondays, right?
Yeah, Mega Mondays.
Okay. Mega Mondays.
About 7 p.m.
And then as far as the next show, we'll be continuing on the Becoming the Hero series, and we will be talking through Zelda 2, Link's Adventure. And I believe I will have Chris HL 94 on, because he's like the biggest Zelda 2 guy that I know, biggest fan. And then Shannon will be on, because Shannon is on every episode, I think. So look forward to hearing from those two. Those are the two that I would know for sure, because they were instantly going to be on there. There could be some other guests. I'll have to go back and look through the schedule. But yes, Zelda 2, we're continuing on. And just to kind of go through the Retro Rewind Champions, you guys have until the 18th of September to submit for that. So just a kind of continuing heads up. And that's pretty much a show. So thanks for listening on Topic Retro. It's a part of the retrologic family of podcasts. If you'd like to send in your personal experiences for the next show but don't have Discord, you can send them to ontopicretro@gmail.com. You can also send submissions for Retro Rewind Champions to that same email address, and I will get those put in as well. If you haven't joined the non-toxic retrologic Discord and you would like to, you can visit retrologic.games for details on there for how to join for free. It's also a link in the show notes that should work. I know sometimes those links die, and I try to update them if anyone points it out, but that link should get you to Discord to join our community, which is probably one of the best retro communities that I can think of on the internet. I'm a part of quite a few. There's definitely great ones out there, but our community is very cohesive, and everyone is very understanding, and everyone's there for the same purpose. We're all playing retro games and talking about retro games and modern games and food and movies and music, and it's just a
Dinosaurs.
Yes, and dinosaurs. Can't forget dinosaurs. But definitely join the Discord, because that's where you're going to find the most information about what's happening and keeps you up to date with everything that's going on. That's it for this episode. You can stay tuned for more, and we'll see you guys later. Bye now.
Bye-bye. See you at Metroid.